before I do anything else, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope you are going to have a good time to spend with your family, friends. Enjoy company of those that you hold the most dear, and share some good food. Maybe exchange a few presents. Sing some carols if you so choose. And hopefully Santa will be good to you this Christmas for your gaming needs. So what we got here, this was not supposed to come here or get here until the 29th, but somehow it arrived early, so I'm not complaining by any means. But anyway, the earlier unboxing I did, hello Ben, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you. The other unboxing I did was with all those play games, the second season football and the hockey blast and the two expresses and all that kind of good stuff. This is an unboxing. It's not really an unboxing, it's an unbagging because it came in a bag, not in a box. And it's going to introduce the project I'm going to start on New Year's Day, January 1st on 2025. Right now I've got the 1987 American League Stratomatic project. I've got the 1979 Inside Pitch World Series, but that's only got, at most 4 more games to go because I've already played 3 games. So I want to get that done before New Year's, and then starting in New Year's, starting in 2025, I'm going to have back to the 2 projects. 2 is about the most I can handle at one time, and that's going to be the Stratomatic and the one I'm about to introduce now. Hello, RJL. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you recognize. Like I said, it's not an unboxing, it's unbagging. Unfortunately, the postal people put this thing in the mailbox and kind of jammed it in there, so it's a little worse for wear. Obviously, the glue and stuff's still here, so it's still an authentic unbagging. If Kurt Bergman was around, he'd say it's an authentic unbagging. So, like I said, this will be the other project that going with my Stratomatic one once my inside pitch one is done, because once January 1st gets here, then Robert's going to take over inside pitch, and I'll leave that game alone, and I'll be focused on Stratomatic and this game coming up with this project coming up. So let's open. It's kind of a flimsy thing here. Don't know how it got here, but it did. That was pretty easy to open, I would say. So let me pull this out. Get rid of the bag. And what we have is the 1990 Pro Season in History Maker Baseball. Get this wrapping off because I think that's causing glare. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this once I get this plastic off of here. Guess that's part of the unbagging too, is get the plastic off. So there we go. Let's get this plastic out of here. Cut the glare down. So it is the 1990 Pro Season. Hello, Dav. Hello, Steve. How you two doing? Let's see if I can get a little closer here, because I think you might be able to see it better if I push the phone down a little bit further. 1990 Pro Season. And you can see it comes with the umpires naturally. Not with all of them, but most of them. Now I do have the how-to guide, so I can create the players that are missing and the umpires that might be missing. But what I want to do is, because these are in alphabetical order, American League, then National League. But what I want to do, and unfortunately, I'm glad that there's some margin here, because this got bent up from the packaging, from putting this thing in the mailbox, from jamming it in there. But this is the part you tear off. So luckily, it looks like the cards themselves are in decent shape. At least I hope so. But I'm going to play a 1990 Cincinnati full season replay. All games just Cincinnati. No one else's. Just Cincinnati's on History Maker Baseball. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the season as the Reds started their season. But I'm going to let injuries and I'm going to let whatever the History Maker game flow sandbox decides to do, I'm going to go with it. So if Barry Larkin gets hurt for 60 games, he gets hurt for 60 games, and the Reds have to do something about it. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to play the Reds in a... Hey, Steve. Yeah, I really want to get back to a History Maker. I know I did it for the fictional set, but to me, I think it's better off for the pro set. I thought about doing as played and trying to, but I've already done that with the '87 Braves. So I really want to do this. Take a regular Major League season and take it through the Play.com History Maker Baseball, ringer, so to speak, and just go through the game day process every day. And if an injury comes up, by golly, the guy's going to be injured, and I'm not editing anything. And if I need more players, like I said, the ones that don't come with the game, I can create because I've got the how-to guide, and it's very easy to do. So now the opponents I'm going to play, they're going to be as played. I'm going to try to keep them as played as much as possible. But this, I'm just going to play it out. And I thought about choosing this 1990 season as an NBC Game of the Week, but I decided to not do that. I decided to do it in this instead. And so between January 1st and the first part of April, the only two things I'm going to have going is this and the Stratomatic '87 American League replay. I'll have nothing else going on. And then once we get towards April, then the NBC Game of the Week will kick in. But that's only one game a week, so that's not much to commit to. I'm still going to commit to this and the '87 American League replay. Hello, Mr. Steve Tower. How are you? And I've got all ready to go. I've already got my accoutrements all ready to go. I've already got my stadiums, courtesy of Al Wilson. I've got my stadiums all set to go. Opening day for Cincinnati is actually in Houston in 1990. You talk about just sacrilege. The fact that the Reds did not open at home in 1990 to me was a travesty. But that's the way it went. They played the first 3 games in Houston. And in fact, I think they played the first 6 games. I think the next games were in Atlanta on the road. So they didn't come home until, they played 6 or 7 games. But I've got these all here ready to go. Got my big book. I did upgrade and get the big supersized results books. It'll be easier for me to see. And like I said, I've got the how-to guide, and I've got the Excel program so I can print up any player that might be missing because, they're not going to include everybody, obviously. So I've got to go through and figure out who's missing. And then I've got to sort, undo all the players. Probably not going to mess in the American League too much. I'm focusing just on the National League because Cincinnati Reds replay. But like I said earlier, I'm not doing as played except for opening day. That's the only as played game I'm doing. Everything else is going to be based on what the game book says. If the game book says a guy is injured, he's going to be injured. So if Eric Davis is out for 40 games, by golly, he's going to be out for 40 games, and Lou Pinella's got to figure out what to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if nobody's injured, then I'll try to keep it as close to as played as possible. But, I'm going to let the injuries dictate and, hot and cold and so forth dictate as well. Thought about bringing, I really thought about bringing Kip Scary to this, but I think it's probably better if I don't. So I'll probably just keep it as normal as possible so that, yeah, I just jinxed Eric the Red. Yeah, sure did. And it's odd, too, because back in the 70s, like in 75, 76, I hated the Reds. Hated them with a passion. Same way with 1990. I was an Oakland A's fan. And when they beat the Oakland A's in the World Series, I hated them. But now that I feel like I've matured and I can appreciate the teams better, I really like both of those teams, the 75 Reds and the 90 Reds. So I've been doing a lot of studying, watching YouTube videos, looking at books and whatnot, and really trying to deep dive into the players so I can maybe understand what they had going on and what kind of challenges they might have had in the season and so forth. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to start January 1st. The first game I'm going to do is going to be on live stream. After that, I will most likely record them because what I'm going to probably end up doing, because I can get these games in about 15, 20 minutes. So I'm probably going to sit down and record all 3 or 2 of the 3 games in a series at one time while I've got everything on the table. And then just piecemeal them out on the videos. But I plan to show all 162 games on video. I'm not going to play anything offline that's not on video. So everything's going to be on video. Just maybe very few will be live. Most of them will be recorded. And that way, and I've got the Stratomatic computer. I've got the 1990 season on Stratomatic, so I can input the stats on Stratomatic. I'm going to let the Stratomatic computer sim the rest of the National League to see what happens there, and then I'll input the stats from Cincinnati's games each time, keep track of their player stats, and keep track of their win-loss record, and see if I can take them to the World Series as well. I believe in real world the Dodgers were a second place team, so I got to maybe try to fend them off somehow. Um, yeah, so I really like the storytelling aspect of History Maker, and like I said, I really like the fictional, but I really want to do kind of a hybrid where I'm using real players, but not using as played, using what the game says. It's kind of a fictional what if kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, when there's no injuries involved, I will try to stick with the actual rotations and the lineups as best I can. But once the book dictates something, it's going to overrule that, and I will just go with the flow and see what happens. But for the opposing teams, I will try to keep them as played as possible and try to follow what they did in real world as possible to be fair to them. And like I'm going to take the tip from Al Wilson. I'm going to play all the opponents as neutral. I'm not going to roll anything game day on the opponents. I'm just going to do game day on the Reds. But all the opponents will be neutral as far as chemistry goes, just like he did for his 77 Phillies replay, which seemed to work well. And that's a possibility, Steve. I didn't think about that. They do play the Braves early in the season, so we could get a look in at the Braves broadcast of that game. So it's very possible that could happen. I might have to think about that. I didn't even think about that. But if I look at the schedule, I believe, boy, I have to look at the schedule. But I think they play the Braves pretty early in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check the schedule. But I think that might be the second series of the season after the 3-game set in Houston. I've got to double check it here. But I really like Chris Sabo. He's the guy that kind of just, maybe it's the goggles. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But I really like Chris Sabo, and I really like Lou Piniella as a manager. Really come to appreciate both those guys. Yep, Atlanta, 3-game set in Houston, followed by a 3-game set in Atlanta. So there you go. Maybe the first game in Atlanta, which would be ironically, the April 13th game, my birthday, April 13th. Open day is April 9th. They have April 9th, 10th, and 11th in Houston. They have a travel day. And then April 13th is in Atlanta. And that's the game Tom Browning beat Derek Lilliquist of the Braves. So that's a possibility. Now that you brought it up, Steve, I may have to consider that very strongly. But I thought about doing it as played and seeing how accurate the game was. But I did that with the 87 Braves already. So I didn't really want to do that again. I want this game to shine as far as telling a story. And so I want to, be able to tell the story. So come January 1st, I'm going to have the Stratomatic 87 replay and this, and that's it. That's the only two things I'm going to be doing. I know I bought Hockey Blast. I know I bought the second season, and I will play those eventually, but I'm not going to do any kind of projects. I'm trying to learn them. But right now I want to focus mainly on this. And the 90 Braves were just gosh awful. They had no pitching, and their defense was horrible. But in 91, they turned all around. They got Sid Bream, Terry Pendleton, and some of their players matured, like Justice Smoltz and Glavine, and got Greg Olson, their catcher, came along. So, yeah, they really turned it around in 91. But this is 1990, and so, like I said, I've got these up, printed off from Al Wilson's drive. Of course, I'll be using Riverfront Stadium quite a bit, and then and I've got the secondary ones for that as well. Then, of course, I got Dodger Stadium, Jack Murphy Stadium, Candlestick Park, Fulton County for when I play Atlanta, Bush Memorial Stadium back when they had turf, Veteran Stadium, and I've got some, Three River Stadium, Olympic Stadium. There's Three Rivers. There's Wrigley Field and Shea Stadium. So I got them all. I'm all ready to go. I've got score sheets already filled out for the first 3 games of the season. So, or at least not first 3 games, opening day, I should say, because I don't know what the games 2 and 3 are going to provide. Somebody might get hurt or whatever, so I can't fill those out until the games 2 and 3 take place. Yeah, Steve, it'll be a while before I do anything Hockey Blast because I've got to learn the game for one thing. I had the original Hockey Blast, but I want to learn Hockey Blast Express. But my focus mainly right now is on these 2 things. I would like to actually learn those games. I started to play. I started on my own just to try a second season Express game, and I got lost on like the first play and couldn't figure out what to do. So because the rules on there are kind of iffy, the way they're described. I had a play, and it said the guy was tackled for a loss, but it didn't say what to do after that. But then I think I figured it out that if you don't get a first down, if you don't move a couple of zones, that means it's fourth down. You got to punt. So I think that's what happened there. But I mean, the play just said stop for loss, and that was kind of the end of it. And I was like, okay, now what? What do I do now? So I really got to maybe watch some more of those videos of that Steve Tower did and a few other folks did on second season Express, and then of course watch the ones on Hockey Blast Express as well to really get the feel for that. But don't want to take up a whole lot of time for anybody. I just wanted to put this out there. January 1st, I don't know what time it'll be. Probably in the morning, I guess. Maybe around 10 Eastern, 10 or 11 Eastern, somewhere in that neighborhood. It'll be opening day for the Cincinnati Reds. Opening day at the Astrodome against Houston. Mike Scott against Tom Browning. And it will be as-play lineups for Game 1 only. Then after that, whatever I roll on the for the second game on the game day charts, if a guy is injured or if a guy does whatever, then I will alternate and change the lineups and try to create them as best I can from that. So yes, Steve, I know you love Cincinnati Reds, so or at least Chris Sabo anyway. I know you're a Boston fan, but I mean I know you like this 90 Cincinnati Reds team. And when I saw History, I'd forgotten that History Maker even made this season because I've been looking at some other seasons, and I saw 1990, and I've been looking at this for about 2 weeks. I meant to order it when they had the Black Friday sales, but I didn't. But they still have free shipping for anything over $25, so I was still able to get this for $39 and free shipping. So I did at least sneak it in for that. So yeah, I'll be like I said, right now I've got to unperforate these things. I need to go to the umpires, put them in the correct. I want them the correct umpiring crews as they were in real life. And if there's any of them missing, I'll create those and add those in. Get all the teams separated and put in their little baggies, and then then get ready to go and make sure on the StratMat computer I've got the season all set up ready to go, so that I can do the inputting of the stats. Thought about doing a digital diamond, but I'm more comfortable with Stratomatics. I think I'll just do that instead. So anyway, like I said, I don't want to take up a lot of people's times. I just wanted to do this tonight. I will probably record Game 4 of the Inside Pitch World Series between the Pirates and the Orioles. That's Dennis Martinez against Jim Bibby, and I'm not going to do it live. I'm going to record it because I get better picture quality that way. And some other people might want to live stream tonight anyway. So I'm thinking about recording that tonight and then uploading it and playing it tomorrow morning for Christmas morning. So while people are either sleeping in, or if you have kids, if they're waiting for kids to, or people to go to their families, maybe sometimes in the morning I know for me sometimes it's kind of a down time where nothing's going on. So I thought about maybe plopping it in about 9 o'clock Christmas morning for that game. Yes, El President. He wasn't very good in 1979, but he was there anyway. Steve, I need to go back and watch some more of your second season and Hockey Blast type videos so I can get caught up on that. Good thing about History Maker Baseball, it's in my blood, so I know it. I don't have to worry about. Even though it's like riding a bike, I can play this game and not play it for 3 months and come right back, and it just snaps right to me. I don't miss a beat. So that's the good thing about this. And like I said, I can play the game decently in about 25 minutes or less if I get a low scoring game. Now recording it probably would take a little longer, but if I was playing on just on my own, it would take shorter. But I could probably do the videos in a little over 30 minutes on these things. So I can record like games 2 and 3 at the same time, and that way it'll help me get through the project a little bit quicker. Not that I'm rushing anything, but yes, Cecil Fielder's. Let me see. Let me look at Cecil Fielder's card since you mentioned it. There's Cecil Fielder's card. Cecil Fielder is, if I can get it focused right, he's a home run king and a semi-slugger. Interesting. He's semi-slugger. I knew he'd be stoic. I'm surprised he's not iron, but maybe his fielding was better than that. I don't know. But yeah, that's Cecil Fielder. He has 51 home runs. But yeah, it's and I've also got to separate the umpires and get them to where they need to be. Don Denkinger, infamous. Terry Cooney, I believe he's the one that threw out Roger Clemens in the 1990 American League Championship Series, Game 4 against the A's. I believe it was Terry Cooney that threw Clemens out early on. So we shall see. Of course, that's American League. I'm doing National League. So doesn't look like, unless I'm missing a page, I don't know how many umpires they gave me that came with this. It might not be that many now that I look at it. Thought there were, oh, here, no, that's the Cubs. Maybe just this one page of umpires. Is that it? Just one page? Apparently so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 16 National League umpires and 16 American League umpires. So I'm going to have to do some umpire creating, I guess, for the ones that aren't, that are missing. And we got the majority, the main ones in there, I guess. As Cowboy Joe West, you can't, get away from that. And there's obviously he is questionable, so that was pretty interesting. Durwood Merrill, very famous umpire. Darrell Cousins, Ed Montague, Tom Hallion, Terry Tata, Steve Ripley, believe it or not, Dana DeMuth, Jerry Crawford, Bob Davidson, Gary Darling, Randy Marsh, the big guy John McSherry, Greg Bonin, Jim Quick, and Bruce Fremming. So we'll see how it plays out. One of my favorite names in umpiring in the American League, that's Rocky Rowe. I always liked the name Rocky Rowe. I thought he was, maybe think of Rocky Road ice cream. But anyway. Yep, I dice baseball. I think, is that Tony? I definitely have the capacity to make the umpires and to make the players that are missing, so I can have all the players for the Reds. And the good thing about creating the Reds players is that I can put my logos on the players I create and put them in red coloring and everything like that. So really kind of spruce them up the best I can, and they'll really stand out from the originals that came with the game. Yeah, McSherry did die on opening day. I don't know. You say 1998? Probably sounds about right. But anyway, that's what it is. History Maker Baseball, January 1st, live stream about. I'm thinking 10 a.m. most likely, maybe 11 a.m. somewhere in that neighborhood for opening day. Mike Scott in the Astrodome against the Reds and Tom Browning, and like I said, hopefully before January 1st, I will be finished with the Inside Pitch 1979 World Series. Game 4 of that I'm going to record tonight for upload tomorrow. And then I'm off Thursday and Friday, some rare days off. And so I'll be working in the yard during the daytime, but I'll be taking breaks during the late afternoon and evening, and probably getting those other games done so I can have that finished before January 1st. Take care, Steve. You have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Hope Play Santa is very good to you this year. Don't know if Kip will, Kip Claus. Maybe we need a Kip Claus. Kip Scary Claus or Kip Claus or something like that. Scary Claus. I'm not sure what good name to give him, but yeah, I'm definitely considering doing that for the Atlanta thing. That might be interesting, actually, just to throw a little monkey wrench in there. So anyway, that's it from here. Like I said, tomorrow at probably tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock, I'll upload the video I'm going to record later on this evening of the Game 4 of the World Series and Inside Pitch. And in between that and separating these things and getting them all set up for January 1st, I want to have everything ready to go and hit the ground running. Kip Claus. Okay, there you go. Kip Claus. All right. That could have a ring to it. I don't know. Kip Claus. It sounds like something else though, but I don't know. We'll see how Kip handles it, because he can be a little bit of a free spirit, and you never know what's going to come out of Kip's mouth. So maybe I'll make my own Cincinnati Reds radio station again. Like I did for the Buffalo Bees. Maybe I'll come up with a fictional, WKRP type thing, and have my own, my own fictional announcers for this or something. The sky's the limit. I mean, it's an open sandbox with History Maker Baseball. That's the beauty of it. But the traits and everything are realistic to the season you're playing. So, a guy might be a hero or something, but that hero means he hit between a certain range in his batting average. So you just don't get a hero because play people felt like he should be a hero. I mean, he got a hero because he hit between X number and X number in his batting average. So there's a method to the madness, as they say. I think I got this thing out of focus when I showed that card for Cecil Fielder, but whatever. All right, Steve, and both Steves. We got Steve after further review, Steve, and we got the other Steve. Got Chuck. We got Dice Baseball. Ben Witz, good to see you. Dav, of course, RJL is going to be doing Inside Pitch. I believe it's 1983 season coming up in January. And he should be having his slow playthrough game coming up next week as well. So keeping our eye out for that. If you want to know anything about Inside Pitch and how to play it and want to see it played, as methodically as possible with full explanation, check out RJL for that. And until then, I'm going to go ahead and get going here and start separating these things and get them in my little envelopes. And I ordered the little small envelopes from Amazon. They're supposed to be arriving this afternoon. I believe they're like number 1 coin envelopes. They're really, really small, perfect size to fit these in. I'm going to try to print, if I can figure out how to do it on the printer, I'm going to try to print labels for them and all that stuff. That may go disastrous. I don't know. But it's fun to tinker around with it and see what happens. So, once again, thank you all for spending part of your Christmas Eve afternoon and evening with me. I was pleasantly surprised that I got off work at 12 today because we were so slow. And a lot of the places that we deal with were closing up at noon or were already closed for the day. So I really had nothing else to do. And the boss is like, might as well go home. I said, okay, works for me. So that's what I did. And perfect timing. This came in, like I said, when I first ordered it, and I got the first tracking device message. It said the 29th, but lo and behold, it came today. So I was very happy about that. So History Maker Baseball will be back on the channel in full force in January. So hopefully it'll tell a good story of the 1990 Reds, and we can write our own unique story and see what happens. There are no expectations, no, it's like, well, they've got to win between X number of games and X number of games, or this guy's got to hit between here and here. It's free world, free willy, anything can happen. I'm letting the game engine dictate everything, and I'll manage the Reds the best of my ability to see if I can get them the most wins possible, but we'll see what happens and see what the story tells, because that's the story, that's the beauty of this game, is storytelling. You're taking from opening day and then let the game itself tell the story of the season. Hello, Prague. How you doing? Hello, Kenyon. Good to see you. Tabby is downstairs sleeping. I invited her up here, but she was really playful when I got home this afternoon, and I think she wore herself out. She's between 12 and 13 years old, so she's not as young as she used to be. So she had to sit this one out. She was sleeping, and I wasn't about to wake up a sleeping cat. So I let sleeping cats lay, and just wanted to come up here and do this real quick. Now, she might chime in on one of the videos later on, but you never can tell. Yes, Mary Catmus, if that's so right thing to say. I don't know. But anyway, again, wishing you all a Merry Christmas and be safe out there. If you choose to party with friends or whatever, please act safely and responsibly. We want to see everybody around healthy for 2025, playing the games, and whether you do videos or not, if you put stuff on Facebook, we want to see that. Uh, if you have a YouTube channel, we want to see that as well. So, want everybody back full force in 2025, happy and healthy, and full of Black Friday and Christmas games that they acquired. So, until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.